Welcome back to Process Sports Radio. I'm your host, Justin. As you guys all know, I got a special guest today, my buddy Balraj, who runs More Than a Sports podcast. Balraj, my man, how are you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Tell me, how are you, man? Loving your podcast lately,
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I know you're wanting to get back into your podcasting, so I thought we best each other, and it's good to let's get this thing started. So today we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, NFL, NBA, maybe something else, but let's go right into it, bro. We were talking about it right before. We just pressed record. We're talking about Miami and Boston. So, of course, Boston won last night to extend the series to 6 games. What did you think about Boston's game last night?
I think Boston, for the first time, actually made multiple efforts on the defensive end. What I mean by that is previously, I think Stevens, their coach, I think they didn't make multiple efforts. I think Boston's a great defensive team. I think you agree too. They're like greatly because they got athletes all over the court.
They have so many athletes, so
many athletes, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think there was a report that came out when they were in the second half that they had like a quick meeting and they're like, yo, like this is our end of the season and we have to make plays here. And I for the first time in all the series, I saw them make multiple efforts of like, okay, make that rotation. And I'm like, okay, now they figure. And then when Miami went to the zone, I think Stevens actually changed it up and they were setting a pick and then that guy would slide to the middle. And then it was like, okay, they finally know how to beat the zone. And I'm like, wow, okay. Celtics finally made this a series.
Yeah. That's one thing. I think Brad Stevens did finally make coaching adjustments, especially like you said when Miami started playing the zone. Because before, Spoelstra was making all these changes, adjusting, whether it's forcing Kemba to shoot, right, or forcing Kemba to do this, right, or getting the ball away from Tatum. And finally, Brad Stevens started coaching. You know how everybody kind of gasses him up. He's like this great young mind and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he was getting kind of schooled by Eric Spoelstra,
yes.
right? And likewise, like I thought, like I know we were talking earlier, I thought Miami was going to win. I thought Boston didn't have like that anymore desire to win anymore. I felt they kind of felt, okay, series is over, we'll just go home. But to their credit, they fought back and they played a heck of a game. They were down by what, like 12 points, 15 points, and they came back.
Yeah. Surprisingly, I'm like, okay, halfway through the second half, I'm like, they're going 1-2-3 Cancun. Like, let's leave the bubble. We're done.
I thought that they were done, bro. I thought,
but for some reason, they just found that and it clicked. It finally clicked for them, which I was like, okay, Jaylen Brown, played huge this game.
Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Jaylen Brown, like, he doesn't get enough credit as what he deserves. And he's so low key too. He doesn't make much noise. He's not like a diva or anything like that. He just plays his game and hoops, and that's it.
Low-key, your boy Jaylen Brown this year, in the summer was working out with T-Mac, and I'm like looking at his game a little bit. And I'm like, okay, he has a little jab step.
He has a little bit of T-Mac in him too.
Yeah,
right?
he does.
And the thing I like about him is that he plays hard on the defensive end too. Like he'll D up as well, right? Yeah. And he doesn't take shit from anybody as well.
He doesn't. No.
He's gonna go at you, right? And that's what you want to see. And like you have that in Marcus Smart. Although Marcus Smart is, you know, he does all the different antics as well. He doesn't take shit from anybody too.
Yeah.
Right? And it's nice to see Gordon Hayward starting to get like reintegrated with the system as well, which something that like with his injuries and stuff like that.
Because originally Gordon Hayward was starting, right? He didn't come off the bench.
Gordon Hayward was supposed to be the shooting guard, and then Jaylen Brown was gonna come off the bench.
Yeah.
So I think Jaylen Brown. We think it's kind of established that Jaylen Brown is better than Gordon Hayward, right? But it's nice to see Gordon Hayward come off the bench and help out a little bit. But do you think Miami's still going to win this series, or do you think Boston actually has a shot at winning? Because I think next game is over. I think Miami wins.
The thing about, like, I'm thinking about everything, right? The bubble is just a different atmosphere. So
it is.
You don't have to worry about travel. You don't have to worry about home court. And usually when there's home court, role players play better at home, right? That's the major thing, because role players play well at home. And when you go to the road, they don't usually perform, right? So now that Boston's like, okay, we got one more. They just got to win one more. They got to win one more game. And then after that, anything can happen.
Yeah.
After saying all that, I still believe Miami will win. I'm trying to give Boston credit here because I think they got too much talent.
I think Boston fought back and they had a really good game where they won.
Yeah.
But I just think that Miami will make the right adjustments.
100%.
I saw like what Jimmy Butler said after the game, and I could see him that like, he really, really wants to prove a point that, hey, I made the right decision by leaving Philadelphia and going to Miami. Yeah. And he really wants to prove people wrong, which, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, talk about Jimmy Butler. I thought he was a huge diva, and I thought he was a problem in the locker room. I thought all this stuff about him. I thought,
wow, yeah.
Just from reading stuff about him and stuff, I thought he was like a huge problem when he was in Minnesota. And then why would he leave Philadelphia? I thought he was like a diva and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But looking at him now in Miami, man, like it's like a match made in heaven with him in Miami, dude. Like he's the perfect lineage from like Dwayne Wade to Jimmy Butler, right? That's the perfect guy to go through, right?
The thing about Jimmy is I think he kind of gets misunderstood because he's a dog, yo. He just wants to win. He wants to win.
I don't know, like, have you heard, like, this guy's backstory is unbelievable, man. He's homeless, had to like fax his letter of intent from a McDonald's or something like that.
Yeah. Everything everything that he has, he's earned like the hard way.
And that's why, like, if you look at it in Minnesota, why it failed, because those two stars had everything given to them, right?
Wiggins and Towns were like, they're soft. That's what they said.
Even Embiid and Butler Embiid and Simmons are fairly soft too, right?
Yeah.
They don't have that. And the thing about Miami is they're led by Pat Riley, who's hard, man. He's a hard, like, they call him the Godfather for a reason, bro. Like,
100%.
Hard, right?
Yeah. I think there was a story back in the day when LeBron was about to leave in 2014 that, you know how LeBron's like, he kind of like commands everything. He's kind of like the GM, low key, how everybody says, like, LeBron runs the organization.
It's his organization.
Pat Riley was like, nah, bro, this is my organization. You're going to follow my rules and whatever I say.
Well, you think what I remember the same story. I remember hearing that he like threw a bunch of rings on the table to Chris Bosh and here, look at these. This is what you want.
Yeah.
Right? Well, of course, this guy's a winner, bro. He coached Showtime Lakers, coached the Knicks in the 90s, who were a hard-nosed team. Then he coached the Miami Heat, of course. Then he's definitely one of the greats of all time. But yeah, I think. Go ahead.
So I think we both agree here that Miami should win. I also think we're low key rooting for Miami because we're assuming the Lakers are going to beat the Nuggets here, so we can have that.
You never know, man. The Nuggets could have the Lakers right where they want them.
Yeah, right. The Nuggets are on a different level of like coming back this year.
But speaking about that, let's go to the Lakers and Nuggets. Yeah. So they're playing tonight.
Yeah.
So I think the Lakers have to win this game. If they don't win this game, then it's going to 7 games. Because I think then Denver will have Denver will have the confidence, and I think the Lakers will get it in their head to, oh shit, are we going the same route that the Clippers going down?
Yeah, that makes sense because the Nuggets, I feel like every single team underestimated the Nuggets.
Everybody did.
I mean, Jokic, amazing player, but it's not somebody you look at like super athletic.
He's not a household name superstar, right? But he's not like what the media puts out there as a superstar, right?
He's just so smart, man, that he just plays the game his way at his tempo, and you can't teach that to most people.
Dude, he's similar to Luka Doncic, bro. He plays at his own pace, and he can make the way he makes passes, dude. He dribbles the ball up the court at a center. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, like who outlets to a center?
Exactly. He's out. People outletting him. He's taking the ball up to the front, up the court. That's unbelievable. Yeah. And then, of course, you got like guys. Of course, Jamal Murray's been taking it to another level. His game, like,
shout out to our Canadian boy.
Shout out to Canada, right?
Yeah.
And then he definitely proven that he is like a superstar in the making. You guys got Jeremy Grant is playing really well.
And my boy, Michael Porter Jr.
Porter Jr., bro. He's coming up big in clutch moments too, right? So, I mean.
Bro, yeah.
What were you going to say about Michael Porter Jr.?
The thing I like about Michael Porter Jr., he's not scared. You could tell, like, he's gifted, bro. He's a step back on Kyle Kuzma between the legs. Oh, my God.
He could shoot, like, 0 for whatever, and then he'll still make the big shot at the end of the game. That's what you need. Because right now, he's a role player. And if you're a role player that's going to make big shots and big moments like that, that's a plus, dude. Because, like, you look at the Lakers, you can't really count on Kuzma or KCP, Danny Green, right? Rondo's playing really good. Dwight's playing really good.
Yeah, Dwight and Rondo have been the difference makers for the Lakers.
For sure.
It's not even no question.
Like, definitely. I think I was surprised. Like, I thought Dwight Howard would be like, kind of like one of those acquisitions, doesn't really do much. He's kind of like just on the end of the bench. But this playoff run, the way he's been guarding Jokic as well, making Jokic like work and like stuff like that, is definitely really nice to see Dwight play well. Like,
I was a huge Dwight Howard fan back in the Orlando days. I actually bought his jersey when I was like in grade 10, and I was like, yeah, Dwight's like the next guy up. I remember that series they had against the Cleveland Cavaliers when Hedo Turkoglu played. Yeah, and LeBron averaged like 39 points, but it wasn't enough because that team was so good. And Dwight Howard back then at the rim is too big of a monster.
Dude, he was he was huge, man. He was athletic as hell too. And like, I was listening to Stephen A. Smith a couple weeks ago when the Clippers got eliminated.
Oh yeah.
Right? And then he's like, Paul George is turning into Dwight Howard, or could turn into Dwight Howard. I'm like, whoa. Like, Dwight Howard, prime Dwight Howard on Orlando, led an Orlando Magic team to the finals. He was 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, right?
Yeah.
Right? All NBA. Like, what has Paul George ever done to warrant that, right?
Yeah, Dwight Howard in his prime was like, that guy's so big, yo. He's like, his shoulders, yo, it's just insane.
Dude,
I'm like, oh my God.
Right now, his offensive skill might not have been there, but he was a defensive force, dude. Like a defensive force, man.
Jokic probably feels it right now. Anytime Dwight comes in and like pushes him around,
Dwight's so mobile. He's so athletic, right? He still
Dwight's,
is.
Yeah.
But I was saying, I think the Lakers need to win this game today, because if they don't, I think it's gonna start creeping in their minds mentally. Like, oh fuck, this happened to the Clippers. But then again, I don't know. They have LeBron. I don't know if LeBron D'd up Jamal Murray last game at the end of the game, which is something that other players have not done, right?
Yeah.
And
shout out Kawhi and PG.
Yeah, exactly. He stopped him, right? So
I was doing a little of research, and I'm on the Reddit forums, right? And I'm looking at the Lakers forum because that's the one I follow. And then I was like, I'm gonna snoop around the Nuggets forum. Dude, the entire forum is complaining about how the Lakers are getting all the calls.
Yeah, dude, I saw the Rob Pelinka and Frank went to the NBA. I mean, I don't know about that, man. I mean, like, was it how many free throws did LeBron shoot last game? 14 or something like that?
Yeah, but before that, Jeremy Grant shot more free throws in game, was it 3 or 4? He shot more free throws than LeBron in one game than the LeBron had the entire series.
Yeah, because LeBron before was shooting like 2, 4.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's tough because LeBron's so big and he always like draws contact, right?
Yeah, he has a Shaq problem.
He does. That's exactly. He's so big and he's so strong when he goes to the lane. It's hard.
The refs just let him play and they don't even know, right? Because he just absorbs the contact.
Exactly. He's so big, but I definitely think that's one thing. That's one thing, and especially in the playoffs, this series you have to worry about is the officiating, see how they're gonna call it, because it changes games, bro. If you're shooting like one guy shooting 14 free throws a game and you're only shooting like 16 and a half, that's gonna be a big difference, right?
100%. And honestly, I believe AD is probably gonna have a big game tonight.
He's been having a big game all series, bro.
Yeah, LeBron's been struggling this series low key, and
he has been, but he's been like, I think I said this the other day. I'm like, I don't think Anthony Davis is a top 5 player in the NBA, right? Well, I stick to that. I don't think he's a top 5 player. I think he's a top 5 talent, right?
Yeah,
but
true.
What I'm seeing from Anthony Davis right now, man, with him being aggressive, minus the other game where he had 2 rebounds in the whole game. You can't be doing that, man, if you're a top 5 player. But it was crazy to see, like, I'm starting to see, like, LeBron. I think LeBron's he's giving it to Anthony Davis, deferring him, letting him get comfortable and make sure his confidence at a high level. Because when you move on to the finals, you're going to have that confidence there, right?
I think LeBron's low-key passing the torch. I think he wants to. I think he wants AD to be the guy. And the thing with AD at times is he settles, right? I've kind of been like observing his game. I'm like, AD's a monster when he's in the post. He has so many moves. He doesn't have like a signature move, like a spin or an up and under.
Skyhook or whatever, right?
He just has so much in his bag. And he sometimes, like, did you see that play where he got poked in the eye by Jeremy Grant? And he's going like this.
With one eye
and then he hit this little jab step, pulls up. And I'm like, yo, bro, how many power forwards hit a jab step and then hit the jump shot? It's
1,000% agree with you, man. Like the way how he can move away from the basket.
Yeah.
His wingspan and the way he plays defense is unbelievable, right?
He's so skilled.
He is, exactly, because he played guard in high school, right? I think.
Yeah.
He still has like those guard tendencies. He's got to be able to handle the ball, dish the ball out, and he has that ability with the ball still, right? Where I feel like a lot of big men, like, they don't have that. They've just been taught just go in the post or dunk, right?
Yeah.
But I think you're right with AD. When he's aggressive at all points of times, then he's on his game and he's unstoppable, right? But the problem is it's not consistent enough.
It's not.
And that's for me why he's not a top 5 player, because he's not consistent enough to be he's not always aggressive consistently to be a top 5 player, right?
Yeah, true. And just going on that, I think Anthony Davis at times, I think most people, like, even when I watch inside the NBA, it's like Shaq and Chuck always saying, oh, why Anthony Davis? Why don't you just go on the post and dominate? I just think this generation just doesn't like that type of ball.
It's a different game now. It's not a different game. It's a different game.
It's not,
Right? When you look at like MJ's era and stuff like that, that was all post, mid-range driven. Now it's all 3-point spacing, right?
Yeah. And I think Anthony Davis, this might sound like a long shot. I think he's probably the Lakers' best mid-range shooter.
I could see that for sure. Because
even at times when the Lakers aren't knocking down their threes with KCP and Danny Green's just so on and off. Like, I don't even want to get to Danny Green yet, but Anthony Davis, I mean, this guy low-key, I'm not going to say it, but he kind of reminds you of like Kobe with the jabs. He loves those contested jump shots for some reason.
He does. he does like those contested jumps, and I see where all these old heads are like, yo, you're this big, man. Like, come on, good in the post, right? But if he's able to pull people away, he's opening up even more lanes for other players, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching this dude like jab step between the legs and stuff like that for a power forward, and he hits.
We're just talking about Jokic right now too. Yeah, like, it's a different game, bro. Like, you need a mobile number 4, right? You can't have just like a guy you throw in the post and then that's all he does, right?
I think sometimes we kind of get confused with the word aggressive. Like, what is being aggressive? If Anthony Davis jacks up 25 shots, is that not him being aggressive, or is it aggressive in the sense? Is it aggressive in the sense like throw him the ball in the post and like back down and shoot it? I think he has no problem doing that, but I think he likes to have 10, 15 jump shots and maybe 6, 7 in the key. That's his game.
I think for me, the biggest thing about aggression is you see him wanting the ball. He wants the ball.
Like, command it.
Exactly. You are that talented. You are that big. You are that strong, right?
Yeah.
Take the ball.
Yeah.
Take it. You can go up against anybody. Nobody can stop you.
Nobody can stop you.
Exactly. Like, next to LeBron James, bro, you might be the most unstoppable player in the NBA.
Yeah.
Right? Just take the ball. Right? So, I mean, that is something I want to see from AD. Now, I don't know if the Lakers make it to the finals and they win. I'm pretty sure they're gonna give LeBron Finals MVP unless AD did something unbelievable, averages like 35 points or whatever. Right? It's gonna be LeBron who wins Finals MVP.
Yeah, I mean, I think for LeBron's legacy, I think he needs it more than Anthony Davis.
For sure. I think, You know what? I will agree with that because we hold LeBron to a different standard than Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
LeBron has openly said, "I want to be going after Michael Jordan," right?
Yeah.
Now, if he wins 4 rings in 3 different cities, that in 2 different conferences, that's
huge.
Uncanny,
it's
right? It's uncanny, right? And then, of course, winning 10 years after the Lakers last won a title, winning one the year Kobe passes away, all of that stuff will be added into it. But I think for LeBron, for me, I think LeBron's legacy was forever cemented when he beat the Warriors. For me, like, I didn't need to see anything else from him ever again. Like, this guy's the greatest basketball player I've ever seen play because I've only started watching basketball ever since LeBron. I never watched Michael Jordan, right?
Okay, yeah.
For me, like, looking at, I understand like Michael Jordan is like the greatest basketball player of all time, right?
Yeah.
From all that, he's the greatest, but LeBron James is the greatest basketball player I've ever seen in my 2 eyes, right?
Yep.
And I think for me, like, that's not going to change my mind whether he wins or loses another finals, right?
Yeah.
But I know for a lot of people out there, winning this would even help him cement his legacy even more.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're getting into the talk of who's the greatest basketball player here.
Yeah, it always ends up happening somehow.
I mean, it depends. Like, I always have this question: is like, okay, you need chips to solidify who you are, right? Then why don't we just say Bill Russell is the greatest player of all time?
Exactly.
But then it's like, oh, he only played against like 6, 7 teams back then. But he has the most rings. Like, all you guys say is like it's about rings. If LeBron doesn't have rings,
and I hate that argument, bro. It's all about rings. Like, it's more than rings.
Yeah, it's obviously more than rings.
There's so much into it to be that dominant, right? Like, Michael Jordan changed the way basketball is, right? LeBron James, there will never be another LeBron James ever again. There will never be a guy 6'8", 275 pounds that can run the way he is.
Yeah,
and has the court vision. Like, he's basically Magic Johnson, but more athletic and bigger, right?
Yeah,
he can shoot a little bit better, right?
True, 100%. And the thing is, a lot of people complain about LeBron is like he doesn't have that dog in him. He doesn't have that killer instinct in him. And I honestly, I mean, there's different versions of it. I think like LeBron isn't that like. People have to realize like LeBron isn't like gifted in the sense of scoring. I kind of talked this about on my podcast too, is like LeBron doesn't really have a go-to move. It's usually get a pick or, just try to power his way to the rim. He's the greatest driver of the basketball, which I do agree. And if you look at the other player that he's compared to, like a Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant, dude, those players were gifted on the scoring end, bro. Those are like maybe top 5 scorers of all time.
You look at like, especially like the fundamentals that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant had. Like, their footwork was like unbelievable, right? Like,
insane.
Like,
they're like 1A and 1B. Kobe and Michael.
Exactly.
Like, LeBron is just he's a student of the game. He understands everything. For him, it's not about taking the last shot. It's about what's the highest % shot I can get, and which has if Kyle Korver's in the corner and wide open, LeBron's not going to be like Kobe and shoot it over 3 people. Kobe will shoot it over 3 people, and he knows it's going in. LeBron's like, Kyle Korver's open. I'm going to kick it to him. I trust him. That's what I've been taught. Those are the fundamentals I have.
Exactly. And I think from like LeBron, the thing that kind of separates LeBron from, I'd say, like a Michael Jordan or Kobe, is the LeBron. He's more of a, I want to say he's not less of a leader, but he's more like includes everybody, right? You know, like Kobe and MJ were a bit more cerebral to themselves. LeBron kind of includes everybody into it, right? Which I'm not saying one's bad or one's worse. It's just that's different, right?
Yeah,
that's who LeBron is. LeBron's a very, like, very inclusive person, right? He's not like the. Now he does throw his occasional subtweets and stuff like that, like Kevin Love and stuff.
The cryptic tweets,
yeah, cryptic tweets. But I mean,
after the NBA All-Star games,
exactly. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I think the Lakers are the clear favorites to win right now. Like, I feel like they have the most talent, and if they don't win, it's going to be an upset. Whether it's Miami or Boston, it'll be an upset. Even if Denver wins too, it's going to be an upset.
Honestly, yeah. If the Lakers lose against Denver, that's just. I mean,
then you got to give props to Denver then too, man, because Denver must have done something. They knocked out.
They just love coming back from 3-1. I guess that
would be a story. That would be a crazy story if they came back again and beat the Lakers and the Clippers, right?
Here's a question for you: let's say the Nuggets win the championship. This is obviously a long shot, right? They come 3-1. They're 3-1 against Utah.
Clippers,
and then the Clippers, and then the Lakers. Why can't we say that might be one of the greatest teams of all time? Maybe the greatest.
Dude, if they win, man, like that is something that would never ever be done before. We'd never seen again, right? We'd never see it again. Where a team was down 3-1 in 3 straight series and came back to win every game, every series. That's unbelievable, dude.
100%.
That is something that I don't even know how we compare to that. It's not even comparable to anything, right?
The last 3-1 we had was the Cavs versus the
Warriors.
The Warriors. That was the Nuggets.
One.
I think I could be wrong though, because that's 2016.
That's like the most memorable one that I think nobody will ever forget.
I don't think nobody came back from 3-1 in 2017, right? No.
No,
I don't think so. Nobody did.
No, I don't think so. No.
2018, no. And then last year, nobody came back from a 3-1.
Well, 2016 there was 2. Remember, the Warriors came back from 3-1 against the Thunder.
The Thunder, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the Nuggets win, dude, I think if the Nuggets win next year, it kind of like, I mean, if you look at the Raptors like last year too, you don't need like a star-studded team like that to win. Then I feel like
you just need to play great basketball and team chemistry, which is usually.
I think
the Lakers this year have great team chemistry. You can see it on the bench. They're as one, all united as one.
They're a unit. They're not like. You know how with the Cavs before, even the Warriors last year, you kind of got the sense that they weren't really a team. They're really divided, right?
Yeah.
And you saw that with the Raptors team last year that won. They were a team, right? They played together as a team.
Yeah.
You saw with teams like the Detroit Pistons that beat the Lakers, but they were a team, right? Like I think that's what a lot of casual fans and a lot of other people don't realize is that one team, like for example the Clippers, right? They had Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, yada yada, this guy and this guy, right? But they weren't a team, right? Yeah. You can't win unless you're a team, right?
I think they said that all year. The Clippers, we never got to have like a team fully healthy, and we never got the time to bond.
And it showed, right? You saw Kawhi saying I didn't give up the ball for this shit, or you saw Then I heard the story this week that Paul George said a speech after the game, we hope you all come back together next year for another run. Everybody kind of rolled their eyes at him. I think we'll talk about it if you want to talk right now. Let's talk about the Clippers. We're the Clippers, dude. I think the Clippers. I think, like I said earlier, they try to cheat the process. They try to cheat the process of trying to just roll out in the playoffs and win a title. When they played 18 games together in the regular season, and that doesn't work, right? You can't expect to win a title after 18 games, right? Of playing together.
Here's my problem with the Clippers. I thought, okay, if they're going to use that excuse as we didn't have enough team chemistry, right? You still have a great coaching staff. You have Doc Rivers.
Regardless of what people think about Doc Rivers, I think he's a little bit overrated. They still have Sam Cassell as a really good coach.
And then they have Tyronn Lue.
They have so much experience on the bench as well, right?
So for me, if it's you struggle on the offensive end, obviously the offensive end is more team oriented, right? You got to know and you got to pass the ball, right?
Stuff like that, yeah.
But defensively, there's no excuse because these guys are all dogs on the defensive end.
Look at they talked about it all so much this year. They're we're the best defensive team. Everybody's this is the best wing defense pair since Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, right? Where okay, well, go prove it to me then. Don't tell me about it. And I know we were talking earlier, like we both picked the Clippers to win, right? For me, what really soured me on them was like the fact that Paul George and Patrick were talking so much shit to like Dame and stuff like that. I was like, okay, well, I understand you're trying to talk and loud, but like prove it. Like why are you talking? What have you done, right? Like Patrick, like Paul George has one of the probably the most smoothest, most fluid games when he's on point, but it's all mental with him. Like he freezes up in the big moments.
Paul George hasn't done anything in the playoffs since he faced the Miami Heat.
Since he was like 6-7 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And he was so young then. Like I feel that Paul George is like in trouble, dude. But if Paul George, like, if he doesn't come back strong next year from this,
he could probably be traded.
He's gonna get traded, or hell, Kawhi could leave. Kawhi's only got 1 year left on his deal.
They're both on 2 years, aren't they?
Yeah, they're both gonna be free agents after next year, right? So I mean, like, this is a make or break year for this Clippers team. And it looks like maybe Montrezl Harrell might not be back. I know a lot of teams want him.
Yeah,
but it's different. It's mad. This is not good for the Clippers.
Yeah, the only thing, again, like all they preached this year was, and the thing we heard was, like, this could be the greatest defensive team of all time. And they didn't struggle offensively if you look at it, right? Against the Clippers, against the Nuggets, they were up double digits. It's the defensive end where they struggled.
Yeah, especially in crunch time, where you're supposed to have a Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Patrick Beverley, who's supposed to be these all-world defenders, and Jamal Murray cooked them.
And
Jokic cooked them. Or
Doc Rivers didn't know how to beat that simple play. The one where they run the pick and roll and Jokic just slip, and they just didn't know what they were doing.
Exactly. And Doc Rivers didn't make any adjustments. And then
he did it,
At the end of that series, he's like, "Oh, we weren't conditioned, right? Our team wasn't conditioned." So, bro, you had how many months off, right?
Yeah.
You were professional athletes. You should be conditioned, right? Why is it everybody else can be conditioned, but you guys can't be?
And Paul George said after the game, he was like, "Oh, we didn't think it was a title year. We just thought like,
dude, I was like, what the? I was like, what? Like, bro, you guys said how many times it was like you put this whole thing together? I'm the king of LA or whatever, right? Like, dude, you just like if had they come on and said, you know what, we choked. I would okay, fine. You know what, you guys admitted it, but you don't feed us bullshit after that. Where like you're like, it's just it is what it is. Well, like I said, I think in the NBA it's gonna be very interesting. Like, it's going to be interesting offseason, too, to see what happens, right? Like, you have other teams coming back. Like I said, the Warriors are going to be back, right?
Warriors going to be back.
Clay's back healthy. Steph, Draymond. We'll see how Andrew Wiggins fits in now with the full roster. I think Wiggins will actually flourish with the Warriors.
I think the Warriors are going to be a top 5 team next year.
I do, too. I think the Warriors are going to be a top, 3 seed in the Western Conference.
Warriors are the only team that have ever scared me. I'm not even going to lie to you. Steph and Klay Thompson are 2 players. When they shoot, my heart sinks every time.
Oh, dude, I hated Steph Curry so much. But then this past year with him not playing, I'm like, dude, like it really got me like, yo, like Steph Curry is actually like a bad guy, like bad out there on the court, dude. Like he is like the way he plays and handles the ball and can shoot. I just got to give him his flowers, dude. Like this guy deserves much more respect than I've never given him before.
I'm not gonna lie. I think if we played on the Warriors, we'd still be a great team, just because like their system is just
the system and the culture.
Play anyone in it, yeah.
And like you think about this, especially going back to Wiggins, is like he's not Kevin Durant, but he's a little bit better than Harrison Barnes, right? So I mean,
and think about it. He's been in an environment in the Timberwolves where it's like nothing, bro.
They're
like
losers.
They don't really do anything. They're like Karl Anthony Towns. I'm like, if I'm him, I'm like, peace, yo. Like I can't be here no more.
After they just got D'Angelo Russell, right?
Like, what is wrong with the Timberwolves?
It's so like the Timberwolves are just so like inept with losing. Like I don't understand. Like you traded for D'Angelo Russell, but now there's reports that Karl Anthony Towns wants out. Well, like make up your mind. Like, what are you trying to do here? And now they're gonna get them. They have the number 1 pick, and we'll see who they pick. Like I think it would be Anthony Edwards or
Anthony Edwards.
He's the center or is he the wing?
I think he's the wing. I could be wrong though.
There's that one center. I forget what his name is, but he's the one center that someone's gonna pick.
Honestly, I'm taking LaMelo. That's
why I think LaMelo Ball is my number 1 pick.
Yeah,
I think LaMelo Ball is just unreal, dude.
LaMelo's flashy and he can score.
Right.
But I don't think the Timberwolves need that. But to lure fans and stuff from the business standpoint,
he's got superstar potential written all over.
He'll be better than Lonzo, I think, easily.
For sure. Now, if Lonzo, I don't know, we'll see what happens with Lonzo. But I think like with the biggest thing with Lonzo is he needs to get that shot consistent. Like even if like I think if Lonzo Ball like people shit on him so much, right? Which a lot of it's not deserved, bro. It's because
It's from his
LeVar,
dad. Yeah, from his dad.
LeVar ruined it for him. Like Lonzo's a really good defensive point guard, right?
He is.
And he's a true point guard. The way he makes outlet passes, the way he controls the game like that. If Lonzo can average like 15 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds, bro, that'd be perfect for him, right?
I think he'd be a more well-rounded version of a Jason Kidd.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see him as.
Now, if he can get that shot ever down, then definitely. Right? That's the biggest thing. But
so we both got the Lakers winning tonight.
I think the Lakers win tonight. I think they have to win tonight, and I think LeBron knows they have to win.
They have to win tonight because the other two teams that they're gonna face, either the Miami Heat or the Celtics, they're both young and they're talented, and our man LeBron needs his rest. There's no way they shouldn't let this go to Game 7.
And I think the other thing is that they also have really good coachings, right? Brad Stevens and Eric Spoelstra are really, really, really good coaches. I would say they're better than. I think Frank Vogel's done a really good job.
Yeah.
But I think Brad Stevens and Eric Spoelstra are better coaches than Frank Vogel, right?
And the thing is, LeBron's faced Stevens, I think, around like 4 or 5 years in a row with the
exactly.
The Cavs,
and he knows Eric Spoelstra too, right? So And likewise, they know him as well, right? So it's definitely going to be something that the Lakers need to have that urgency to just end it now.
I'm really hoping for Lakers Miami though.
That's what I'm hoping for too.
Low key, been waiting for this series since like 2010 when LeBron joined the Miami Heat and Kobe had Gasol.
He never played Miami in the playoffs when he was.
They did it. That was one series we wanted. I heard Stephen A. say it too. He's like, man, I was into 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
Yeah, dude. I want to see LeBron go up against Pat Riley. Like I want to see that. But even Boston too wouldn't be bad. Like LeBron battles Boston. Right? So I mean that's something that's a really intriguing match. Both you can't go wrong with either or, right?
Yeah.
I think even if the Nuggets make it too, it'd still be pretty intriguing the way each finals match would be. But
we all know the NBA wants LeBron James.
Of course, the NBA wants. They had last year. They didn't have LeBron in the finals. They want LeBron back in the finals.
Yeah, I think they were down like 15% in viewership.
For sure, any team from Canada or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? But I want to talk about one thing about basketball before we go to football. I want to get your. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about Kevin Durant, right? In a way where I was like, I loved Kevin Durant in Oklahoma City. I thought then he went to Golden State and my mindset's flipped on him, right? Similar to Steph Curry with him gone this year, dude. I really started looking at like, shit, dude, like this guy, like he might not be like LeBron's right here. He might be like right there, right?
Yeah.
And I think that people forget how great Kevin Durant is. Like, all talk about Kawhi and Giannis and all these other guys, but they forget how good Kevin Durant is.
Kevin Durant, my guy. I always tell people, Kevin Durant's been my guy. I mean, I like Kevin Durant because he's not that he doesn't talk much. He just loves basketball.
He talks a lot on Twitter, but
that's. But like in person, like I never really hear this dude like really be about it. It's just like, bro. I watched this guy in which school did he play for? Was it Texas or am I bugging?
Texas,
Texas, right?
Texas.
So I used to watch a lot of college ball back then when I was younger here, and I'm like, who's this like slim dude, And it's a Slim Reaper. I'm like, makes sense. Scoring beast over here. And then I remember I used to be a Seattle Sonic fan because remember they're just on the other side. So I was like,
they're right
I like this team, right? Rashard Lewis, shout out Rashard Lewis,
Ray Allen, all those guys. Yeah,
back team. And then they got Russell Westbrook.
They drafted Westbrook, but they left to Oklahoma City right away.
Yeah, and then they got the other guy, the green guy. I can't remember his name right now. I'm bugging.
With Jeff Green.
And then they had him. Yeah. And I'm like, this team ain't bad at all. So I copped a KD jersey back then on the Seattle Supersonics, and I was like, he's going to be a monster. And then eventually I liked Kevin Durant a lot. And then OKC, then they lost against the Warriors that year, which Kevin Durant did play bad towards the last two games. I'm not an NBA player, so I don't really want to criticize him too much for whatever it is. But then he went to the Warriors, and for the first time, it was just like for KD, he just got to play basketball. It wasn't where his point guard was hucking up 40 shots and wasn't getting the ball and was never in a rhythm where he was the guy on the Warriors. Obviously, it's Steph's team.
Steph's team, right? But it was Kevin Durant was the best player.
Kevin Durant was the best player. The only reason they won in 2017 against the Cavs was because KD was on one. I remember KD. I'm like, Kyrie's bad. LeBron's bad. And that team was talented.
That Cleveland 2017 team might have been better than the 2016
team. It was better.
It was better.
Yeah. But Kevin Durant was just on a mission that year. Again, obviously, he was playing with other like Steph and Clay, where you can't leave those guys open. So KD was just going against LeBron 1v1. And props to KD, knocked down every shot, and he hit that shot on LeBron.
Huge shot in that game 3 right over LeBron's face.
Bro, my reaction on that shot was like, oh my God, KD just did. He just did it.
Yeah, for me, I was cheering for the Cavs that year, and I'm like, that's it. They won the title. Like, it's over after that shot, right? And thinking about, like, bro, like Kevin Durant, like the way that man can pull up from like wherever on the court and just flush it, not even hit the rim or anything, just goes right down the center of the hoop, nothing, right?
7 foot. His
wingspan, his handle, bro, everything, man. Like the way Kevin Durant.
In my opinion, this is really tough. Fuck.
He's probably like top 3 scorer of all time behind MJ and Kobe.
I think he's the best scorer in my opinion.
Over MJ and Kobe?
I think just because MJ, a dog, like killer instinct, just like another level. Kobe again, Kobe's the guy that I've seen make shots where I'm like, how did that go in? Like,
the way Kobe made the most like acrobatic, impossible shots, and he would like swish them. It wouldn't even bank or nothing. He would swish them.
I'm gonna put my boy Melo in there because I've always been a Melo fan. Melo was a dog,
and Melo came back this year. Dude, Melo proved that he deserved to be the NBA.
But when Kevin Durant scores, it's just like you can't do anything. You legitimately can't do anything when Kevin Durant.
Like think about last year when he played with that 12 minutes against the Raptors, bro. He came over and just been bang.
Yeah, bang.
I was like, dude.
He like Kawhi Leonard's a really good defender. Like a really good defender. There's that video from 2014 when Kawhi Leonard checks in the game and LeBron's at the free throw, and you can hear him like, why? This guy's back in the game again. KD looks at Kawhi in that 5 minutes he played in game 3. I can't remember what game it was, and he's just like, he had like 12 points in like
5 minutes, dude. Like it was unbelievable.
They just don't make people like these just casually 7 foot.
I think taking this year off for him would be probably really beneficial, where he could get strong, of course, recover from his injury. Yeah. But then also he can like really kind of just separate himself from that whole Warriors mess, because there was a little bit of drama when he left, right? And really started owning it. Now, hopefully in Brooklyn with Steve Nash and Kyrie, that they can really build something there where, I think the Nets will probably be them, Boston, Miami, Toronto, Milwaukee will be one of them. But I think the Brooklyn especially, I think if KD's healthy, bro, it's their conference to lose.
100%. And KD gets to play with the person he loves the most in the NBA. I think he likes Kyrie.
He was his best friend.
Yeah, and he's like, KD said, he's like, when he played them in the finals in 2017, Kyrie is just like insanely talented to the point where he's like, wow, this guy's doing this. I want to play with this guy.
For example, I think, again, Kyrie gets so ripped on in the media and stuff like that, where people just hate on him. And people think that he's just a bad teammate, a bad leader, all this stuff. I mean, without Kyrie Irving, LeBron doesn't win a title in Cleveland. No, and I think for me, LeBron and Kyrie was the best, better than him and D Wade, better than him and Anthony Davis, because they fit so well together, right?
They did, yeah.
And I think that's only going to help KD because, again, Kyrie can make his own shot. Kyrie can take the big shots. Kyrie can hold the load, right? So I think for me, Brooklyn, and and Karis LeVert's there too, right? You have these pieces where they're Dinwiddie. You have those pieces in Brooklyn where you can make that noise, right?
And honestly, a lot of people didn't like the Steve Nash hiring just because he doesn't have any experience in the coaching background. But he used to be like an assistant, not like an assistant.
He was like a consultant with the Warriors or something like that.
And he worked with KD. And Steve Nash is a great basketball mind, bro.
He is, dude. Like Steve Nash is such a smart and has such high basketball IQ. And
honestly, I think he's going to win Coach of the Year next year.
Really?
I think the Brooklyn Nets next year, depending on how KD comes back, which I wanted to ask you, is like, how do you think he comes back? Because that's a big injury, right? A lot of players we've seen.
Yeah.
I think KD will not be the same player. I really hope he is, and hopefully he's better. But
I don't know if he'll be like prime KD, but he'll still be like, he'll still get up his 20s. He'll still get his 27 points a game. And I think with this year, it might take because of all that rust. That's why I'm thinking they might not win the title this year.
Yeah.
Or be it in the finals because of all that rust, especially because Kyrie's been off too. But I feel that you're definitely going to see flashes of KD. Oh, this guy, like, he's back, bro.
That was my point. I'm like, if KD was playing in this bubble with no fans, it's just hooping, KD would have been a monster, bro, in this bubble.
No external noise, right? No extra
nothing.
Noise.
It's just KD, bro.
Yeah, and like, I think to finish it off, like, I think like, basketball needs KD, bro. Like, you need that other, like, Kawhi is great, Giannis is great, but there's something about Kevin Durant where next to LeBron James, that's clear-cut number 2 guy, right? And like, I feel like without him, people kind of got off their rocker a little bit, like, oh, like Giannis is like the best player in the league, and I never got into that hype where Giannis is the best player in the league. I thought that was really like disrespectful to like basketball. Like I'm not like a huge like basketball purist or whatever, but I found it like disrespectful where this guy like he's just a freak of nature athletically, but he doesn't really truly have like the skills that like a LeBron or a KD have.
Yeah, Giannis, shout out for him winning MVP
Yeah,
again. He deserved it. Regular season, right?
but he's not the
But
best player in the league.
he's not the best player in the league. He's not. He's very raw. He's not like he doesn't have a consistent jump shot, which for him he is needed. He needs that, and all the teams do just like stack the line. And after that, Giannis is just a average, not an average. I would say obviously above average, but
he's like I say the same thing about Pascal Siakam. Like Siakam is talented, but he's raw. Like he has no post moves.
Yeah,
he just that's why he struggles much against Boston because Boston made him work. And he didn't have a Kawhi that would like take the defensive challenges, right? He would see the best defenders, right? And that's why he struggled.
There's only so hard you can play with all the energy, but if you don't have a true skill set, and when you get like when you're playing in a 7-game series, like the way Giannis did against the Miami Heat, where they can game plan for you every single day, every single minute, and they take away the things like, oh, Giannis likes to go through the middle, he likes to do a Euro step. No, we're gonna be there.
Yeah,
and you don't have anything else to go to, then you're limited, very limited in your game.
Because exactly like you said, like you look at it, Miami threw bodies at him, right? They threw bodies at him. Toronto last year threw bodies at him, clogged up the lane. If the way I thought with the Bucks all season was if the Bucks are gonna win, Giannis is gonna get his, right? But people are gonna catch on to him, and you need your depth players to beat him, and that they weren't those guys, right?
Yeah.
So I think but that's we'll see what happens. Like I said, we both the Lakers winning, so we'll see. But let's talk about some football right now because I know you're a big football guy too.
Yeah.
What has been your biggest surprise so far in the season so far?
The biggest surprise so far that my Dallas Cowboys barely beat the Atlanta Falcons last week.
Dude, that game was crazy, man. Like I don't know like what it is about Atlanta, bro, and choking leads, bro, but that was horrible, dude. Props to the Cowboys for coming back and winning, but dude, Atlanta choked that game hard.
Bro, I mean, I woke up late, right? I got mixed between the time. I thought it was a later afternoon game, right? Yeah. I wake up, I'm like, oh, the Cowboys are playing. No way. And I never miss Cowboys game. I'm like, we're down 29-10. Wait, what? Yeah. What? And then I watched the game and I'm watching and I'm like, okay, we come on, we're pretty good. And then they score again and I'm like, game's probably over. But I'm like, I'll continue watching. Crazy stuff happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
And then we score and I'm like, okay, now we're going for this onside kick. Newly signed Greg Zuerlein kicks it sideways, and I'm like,
it's like spinning like this.
I'm like, yo, is Atlanta like forgot how to play the game because you guys can touch it whenever you want, right? And it passes the time we get the ball. I'm like, no way. So then they get in field goal position, and I'm like, this is why we got Greg Zuerlein, right? And he's on my fantasy team too, so I'm like, I need you to make this, and he made it. I'm like, oh no way, Atlanta just choked again, yo, no shot. Wow,
this is crazy, dude. Like. I was watching that game and I was like, bro, what the fuck? Is Atlanta going to lose this? Because I saw there was 3 fumbles in the first quarter. I'm like, game over, man. Cowboys 0-2, right? And then I flipped back to him like, bro, what are these guys doing, man? Like, how are you losing this game? Like, really? Like, how are you doing this? And then once I knew they got the onside kick, I knew it was game over. I knew Dallas was going to win here or there. I knew it was over. For me, the biggest surprise is other than the Seahawks, because I'm a big Seahawks guy, the Russell Wilson's cooking right now.
Russell Wilson probably should deserve MVP.
Oh, for sure, right? As of right now. But dude, the Arizona Cardinals, man, they're scaring me right now, dude. I really like Kyler Murray a lot, bro.
I do too. He's like a Madden guy. I look at him as a Madden guy. Short little guy that has a lot of speed and can throw the ball.
Dude, he scares me, bro. Like the way him and DeAndre Hopkins got chemistry right now, unbelievable, bro.
Yeah, honestly, I think I was kind of shocked by that trade to begin with D-Hop leaving the Texans, right? I thought he'd be a lifer for that one.
Yeah, I know. But I guess it's whatever it is. I think the thing with the Texans is Bill O'Brien is too much like power, bro. Like he's the coach and the GM, right? You need like to just focus on like he's a good coach. Bill O'Brien's a really good offensive-minded coach. Like there's a reason he's still coaching in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think he needs to be the GM because I think that's way too much on his plate. And he's not the best roster maker, right? You saw other than they got that left tackle, what's his name from Miami, Tunsil. He's a really good left tackle, but other than that, man, like David Johnson, he's kind of washed up. You need those weapons. Deshaun Watson's like he's an extremely talented quarterback. I think I think people like get really like hyped about Lamar and Mahomes and stuff like that, but they forget how really good Deshaun Watson is. He's right there on that level with them, bro. He got
I honestly believe Deshaun is probably better than Lamar. Lamar is just like
and a lot.
crazy in this because the offense is like tailored towards him, but Deshaun has like everything that Lamar can do, and he's a great thrower of the ball.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of people would think you're crazy for saying that, but honestly, I could totally see that. Where I feel that Deshaun Watson, bro, he has not only the mobility, but he also has the arm, and he also like the thing with Lamar Jackson is we haven't seen him play well in big games yet,
Yeah,
right?
true. I
Like
mean, they were up pretty big last year, but
yeah,
I mean that the Chiefs were just the Chiefs. I mean, I can't even say anything about that one,
bro. Like Mahomes is the most talented quarterback ever, like more than Aaron
ever. See
Rodgers.
that throw he made last week, rolling route right to
Yeah,
Tyreek Hill.
rolling
Like,
out right on the money to Tyreek, like not even like just on a rope, dude. And like from like Mahomes is out of this world. Like Mahomes is not comparable. I feel like where if he's on his game, bro, nobody's as good as him
good
because he's
luck.
mobile.
That's a good luck.
Yeah, it is. But like going back to Deshaun, like dude, he beat Alabama in college. He won a college national championship, right? That's nothing to sneeze at, right? He's won playoff games before, right? I think Deshaun Watson, he deserves better like that. Like I think the Texans owe it to him to put some pieces around him, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess they thought David Johnson was the answer.
Dude, I don't know about that. But then even then, like, I think with Houston as well. But another surprising thing for me is even like a team like the Raiders, dude. The Raiders are like, I'm really surprised. Yeah, the Raiders, all these Raiders fans, right? It's like, I think with the Raiders, like I think Gruden and Derek Carr finally working out together now, and they have good pieces on the offense side, man. Josh Jacobs is a beast, bro.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the Raiders. I mean, if you're a football fan, you grew up watching like two teams. I have older cousins that only like two teams. Either you're an Oakland Raiders fan or you're a San Francisco 49ers fan. Those are the two, right? And then you have your casual Cowboys fans, you who are usually like bandwagon fans earlier. But those are the only two teams. And honestly, now it's a Las Vegas Raiders. That sounds so weird to even say.
It does sound weird.
To me, like I always know the Oakland Raiders. Like that's the only thing, black and silver. And then, yeah, but they've obviously. I mean, when was the last time the Raiders have been good?
I don't even remember, bro. Like I don't remember.
I think before we were even born, to be honest.
Bro, I don't remember the last time the Raiders were ever good. Like I literally do not know when the last time the Raiders.
I think in this past, it's from the 2010 to 2020. I think they made the playoffs once. I could be bugged.
I think it was the year Derek Carr got injured too.
Yeah, I think that year. Yeah, so that's the 1 year they've had. So I mean, they're 2-0 now.
They're 2-0, and they're playing New England, who Cam Newton has been another very pleasant surprise.
That's my book. Cam Newton is probably one of my favorite football players to watch of all time, and he was on fire against the Seahawks. I'm like, yo, Cam really?
Yeah, dude. Like I think Cam Newton is on a mission this year. I respect Cam. I haven't been a huge Cam fan, but I'm really like pleasantly surprised to see how well he's been playing. Like Cam Newton is playing, like he's showing the world that he's healthy. And I think about it, man, this guy signed for less than there's a couple $1 million he signed for, right? And like some of these no-name quarterbacks getting paid more than him, right? I think that really pissed him off, and it's showing like, dude, he's fitting well in New England too.
The thing is, obviously Bill Belichick knows what he's doing. He waited until everything, and I'm surprised that nobody signed Cam. But then again, everybody, like every team in the NFL, kind of has their guy now, right? Like it's not, but like 5-6 years ago, I would say it was like this. There weren't like too many good quarterbacks, but I feel like every team now has like a decent.
There's so many good quarterbacks now.
Even the backups are even like not too bad.
That is true. Dude, look at Dallas. Dallas has Andy Dalton.
Yeah. So
Andy Dalton's their backup quarterback, right?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, okay. I did the thing on my podcast where I'm like, if Cam Newton goes to the Patriots, that's a bad sign for the league because he's like, obviously Ron Rivera and the Panthers were like a really good team, and Cam won MVP in 2016 or 2015.
2016, yeah.
Yeah, when they lost against the Broncos in the Super Bowl. But that environment is like, it was kind of dominated by Cam. Ron Rivera, a great coach, I would say again. But like when you come to the Patriots, you can't really be like,
it's the Patriot way. It's not Cam's way. Right?
It's not Cam's way. It's like Bill Belichick has a system, and you have to follow that system because the greatest player of all time, which is Tom Brady, followed that system. And Bill Belichick would call him out in practice. So if you're Cam Newton, like up in here, like, hey, what's up? That's not gonna work here. It's Belichick. That's how it is. No. And I was watching the Seattle game, and I'm like, okay, I want to see because this is like the real test. I want to see how good they are. Cam Newton was making throws where I'm like, this guy looks like Tom Brady-esque right now,
Dude,
over the shoulder, right in the. I'm like, wow, Cam, really?
Yeah, he's like, and Cam Newton has always been like, his arm has always been slightly questionable, his accuracy and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And he was looking hella accurate, dude.
I was like, yo, yeah, I was like, damn.
Dude, when the Patriots got the ball at the end of the game, I'm like, bro, they're gonna score and get a touchdown because Cam's on fire, right? And Cam just went bang, 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 bang. I was like, oh my god. Thank God though, the last play didn't work out, but I mean, I think Cam definitely is gonna win comeback player of the year this year.
He should easily.
He should, right? Like even if the Patriots like they make noise, dude, and might make the playoffs as a wild card team, right? He might get some serious MVP consideration, right? Like, and he much deserved, dude. And I think for me though, like after this year though, I don't think if Cam's gonna be in New England after this year though.
Do you think so? I think if they play well and Belichick is like, I see a potential with Cam Newton. Because think about it. Bill Belichick really hasn't had any like other quarterbacks besides Garoppolo, Brady, and then he had Brissett and Matt Castle in the early, right? Those are the only one. None of those are like mobile quarterback. Maybe Brissett, but he wasn't like Cam.
He's not a Cam Newton.
If Cam can throw the ball with accuracy and be a pocket passer quarterback alongside with him running in New England, just imagine like what Josh McDaniels can do with that.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, the biggest thing with the Patriots, they're gonna need to get more weapons, or N'Keal Harry's gonna have to step up, or they're gonna have to get another option on the wide end because they have Edelman in the slot, but they don't have any much else after that.
They don't. Yeah, I feel like they'll trade for someone if they're say they're going into week 4 or 5 with like a. Maybe
do they bring back Antonio Brown?
I don't think that will work out between Belichick. Don't play that game at all. I don't think
he's gonna go back down that route again.
No way. I think they'll probably sign someone if they're doing well. They'll trade for someone.
I mean, like you keep on hearing about Odell Beckham.
Odell with Cam? Oh my God!
Dude, Odell.
I think that sounds well together, but they're both like huge personalities. Where Bill Belichick's gonna be like, "Yo, calm it down."
If you have them in New England, then they gotta
calm it down, yo. Because we got Odell here, where Richard Millie's on the field. Yeah. Belichick ain't down like that.
Yeah, no. Look what happened to Ocho Cinco. He went to the Patriots, man. You didn't hear a peep from him at all, and he was like the most loudest guy in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, we'll see, but definitely a pleasant surprise with Cam.
Yeah.
But
let's talk about your boy, the Russell Wilson, man.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Some respect on Russ's name.
I'm telling you right now, man. Like the way this guy, like the way he made, like the way he throws that deep ball, bro. Like the way he throws that deep ball and it just lands right in the receiver's hands, bro. Like it's unbelievable the way he throws the ball. And he like, I know everybody thinks Mahomes' arm is the best that we've seen, but Russell Wilson's got a cannon arm and it's accurate, dude. And like. I think this year, like I picked him to win the MVP before the season started, right? And I felt that this guy's on a mission to prove that, you know, he got voted number 2 in the top 100, right? Yeah. And everybody's, that's way too high, blah, blah, blah. But, bro, like people are seeing how good Russell Wilson is, bro. Like, and he's clutch, too. Like, when the game's on the line, bro, like, he's never out of a game. Like, you will give me any quarterback. I'm not saying it just because I'm a Seahawks fan, right? Legitimately, if you look at, and I've talked to, like, I know people, like cousins of mine, family members of mine, that are 49er fans, and they hate the Seahawks. And they tell me, like, dude, like, if we had anytime we play the Seahawks, where you guys are never out of a game because you have Russell Wilson, right?
I mean, the 49ers fans know that well because back in 2014 and 15 when they played, when those two teams back at that time was like the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude, the rivalry between those two teams because they were so – like you had Kaepernick, you had Wilson, you had great defenses on both sides. You had John Harbaugh, Pete Carroll.
Yeah, that was amazing. I used to love watching it back then. Yeah,
right. And I was looking forward to that this year too, because these two teams were like, I'm like, yo, these might be the best two teams in the NFC going at each other, right?
Yeah.
Of course, the 49ers got hit with injuries, but dude, Russell Wilson's unbelievable, bro. Like, and like DK Metcalf's like. I didn't think DK Metcalf was gonna like take like he had a good rookie season, right? Like a really, really good rookie season. I didn't think him taking this next step right here, right? Like
they don't make too many players like DK Metcalf.
Dude, he's days. Like what, like 230, like 6'5".
All muscle, bro. He's like 0 something body fat. I was watching some interview with him, and they're like, "Yo, what's your like insight to getting like jacked like this?" He's like, "I'll give you the biggest tip," and they're like, "What?" He's like, "You got to talk to yourself at the gym." He's like, "You are your biggest motivator, and you are your worst enemy." So he's like, "When you're working out, talk to yourself." He's like, "It might sound weird, but he's like, if you want to get to the next level, look like me. You got to talk to yourself at the gym, push yourself harder."
Dude, that's facts, dude. Yeah, actually, I could totally see that. Where I think you see right now on the football field too. Like he's playing with utmost confidence. Dude, he threw his gun like scrum with Stephon Gilmore, probably the best cornerback.
The best corner. They were scrapping. Yo, I love that
they were
stuff.
going at it, and I was like, okay, let's go, DK. Like he's not backing out from anybody, right?
Yeah, bro. That one throw where Russell Wilson threw it over, perfect. I mean, Gilmore got beat. I'm not gonna lie, he got beat, but his recovery was sick because he hit him on the hands, but Russell put it in a place where only Metcalf could
all DK did was open up his hands like this, and the ball dropped right in there.
And he caught it, and then Gilmore swiped at it, but his hands are so big, and that guy's so big that he caught it, broke the tackle, took it to the end zone.
Bro. So I think like definitely like Russell Wilson probably gonna win MVP this year if he keeps this up and stays healthy. But it's unbelievable, bro. The way finally they're letting him throw the ball, bro. Before Seattle was all about running the ball, and then Russ bails out. But now starting it off, like let Russ hit you in the face with a punch right away, right? And then
100%.
going at it like that. That's what, I mean, like you have like a general like. In my opinion, bro, like people are gonna realize that this guy's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer when he retires.
No question.
Like the way people think like he's like people think like Dak Prescott's better than him, bro. Like or people think like Carson Wentz is better than him. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I was shitting on Dak Prescott quite a bit, bro. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'd rather have Dak Prescott than Carson Wentz. And I thought I would never say that before. I thought I would never say that before because Carson Wentz has more talent than Dak Prescott. But Dak Prescott's intangibles are much better than Carson Wentz.
There's one thing that I hope when the Cowboys got Dak Prescott, right? I was like, okay, maybe like Tony Romo got injured. So I was like, remember that year when Seattle drafted Russell Wilson? I think who did they have playing before him? I can't remember who it was.
They signed that guy, Matt Flynn, and Russell Wilson beat him out. Right before that, they had that Matt Hasselbeck before that.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm like, okay, Dak Prescott plays out first game in 2016, I believe, against the New York Giants, and he comes on, bang, bang, bang. I'm like, we just found the next Russell Wilson. Yeah, I'm so happy, right?
Now, like, I mean, like Dak has. I hope Dak like gets the money he deserves, right? He's gonna get it whether it's with Dallas or not. But I think Dallas needs Dak because Dak's such a calming influence.
Yeah, the thing, I mean, I think Russell Wilson's obviously a way better quarterback than Dak Prescott. I honestly believe by this time Dak would be kind of more like Russell Wilson. I always see improvement in Dak's game though, but it's kind of too slow. But one thing that Dak and Russell have is like they both have heart. Right, so
they never quit. They never quit.
I remember that like 2 years ago when Seattle faced Dallas in the playoffs, and it was like 3rd and 14, and the Seahawks needed a stop, and Dak just took off and like did like a front flip and picked up.
I remember that.
And then I'm like, that's like Russell Wilson. When Russell Wilson has that, he usually escapes the pockets and runs and gets the first down.
And I mean, like I think Dak, like yes, Dallas has a really talented team, right? But I also think Dak.
Bro, we've had so many I mean, I told you I've been a Dallas Cowboys since like 2004, 2005.
They had like T.O. and all
many talented teams. Yeah, the talent has never been the question. Dallas have always been talented. It's just I feel like management, whoever's controlling the team, has like Jason Garrett's been a good coach, but he's just like a good coach. He's nothing more. He doesn't do much.
I think Mike McCarthy, like he has the potential if he can call the right plays, elevate this team to become. Like, this team is too talented not to make the playoffs, bro. The Cowboys. Yeah. The Cowboys should be making the playoffs every year. Like, the Cowboys have more talent than the Eagles. The Cowboys have more, like, they're more talented than any team in their division, right? But yet, for whatever reason, they're either right on the cusp of making the division or not, right? So
they're always underachievers.
Exactly. And I think that needs to change, whether that's from Jerry Jones or whatever, bro. Like, you need to, like...
And it really sucks when, like, I mean, there's a lot of, like, again, there's a lot of casual people, right? So for them, it's like, oh, Dallas sucks. And I'm like, I always have this debate with people. It's like, your Dallas sucks. And I'm like, what makes you say Dallas sucks? Oh, well, they never make the playoffs. Or they're 1 year, they make the playoffs, and the next year, they're not.
One year they go 13-3. They actually do.
They're not consistent. And I'm like, I think that has to do with the culture too, right? Like, Jerry Jones likes a guy to have where he doesn't talk back. Because I feel like Jerry Jones controls the team, the players, like everything. So he likes like a little puppet guy who whatever he says is down. So if you hire like if Bill Belichick came to the Cowboys, I feel like it'd be the perfect fit because it's a super talented team that just needs discipline, like to follow rules and things like that. But I think Mike McCarthy's been a great signing, but I don't know if he has the control over the team because I think Jerry still runs the organization.
Of course.
That's been the problem.
That's the problem. It's Jerry Jones's team. It's the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, right? It's his stadium. It's his team. It's his this. The only way the Cowboys, and I think he still thinks like back, like when he won all those Super Bowls with the guys like Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, all those guys, right? Like he thinks that he thought he designed those teams, right? He feels he
Yeah.
can do the same thing again. Where it's not that it's different now, dude. Like there's a lot of talented athletes in the NFL now. Where like it's hard to build a chance. That's why it's like what the Patriots did over the last 20 years is probably never going to be seen again, right? Where even a team like the Seattle, right? I thought Seattle, like people are saying, oh, they're going to be the new Patriots and stuff. They're not at this current juncture because it's so hard, bro. Like
Yeah.
you have a year where like a Cam Newton wins MVP, goes 15-1. Then you have a Matt Ryan MVP year, right? Then you have like this and this, for San Francisco 49ers, bro. It's hard to win in this league, dude.
It's very hard. It's anything could happen on any Sunday. That's the thing, right?
That's the
Like
thing. Any given Sunday, anything can happen.
last
right?
week, at least like 15 guys' fantasy probably got ruined because of all the players that got injured.
And it's horrible to see that, but like I said, you lose a guy like Saquon, the season's done, right?
And Saquon's a top 5 pick, so anybody that picks
Exactly.
Saquon,
You look at even on the defensive end, you look at guys like Bosa gone,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You look at like whoever else has been injured, right? Like even like the team like Denver, dude. Denver had playoff hopes and they lost their starting quarterback and their number one wide receiver, right?
Yeah, anything could happen on any given Sunday, right?
It's true, dude. But like I said, it's gonna be a really exciting year this so far. Like I really like. I think the NFL starting on time for me was like really like a breath of fresh air because we had like the break and the bubble and everything, but the NFL season starting on time and so far so good. Like it's been really really good to see.
Yeah, who's Seattle playing this week?
They're playing the Dallas Cowboys. That's gonna be a really good game, dude. Like
honestly, anytime the Cowboys beat the Seahawks in the regular season, they usually make it to the playoffs to the second round. That's what I noticed.
We'll see. And I think like when did I think the last time they played was when they played in the playoffs. But I think that was the year that Earl Thomas
wanted to go to the Cowboys.
He wanted to go to the Cowboys. He went to Jason Garrett to come get me.
He's a free agent right now, right?
He's a free agent still, yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Dallas has a lot of interest in the secondary. We'll see. Maybe.
Yeah. If Seattle could re-sign Earl Thomas, I'm just saying hypothetically, and then they have Jamal Adams, it's just Cam and back to the Legion of Boom, right?
I don't know. I don't think after he flipped the bird to Pete Carroll, that's ever gonna happen again, bro.
Yeah, true.
But Earl Thomas, like I think Earl Thomas would be fine anywhere. But we'll see.
That's true. Yeah, we'll see where he ends up. Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I guess that's it, right? I think we pretty much covered everything that we've had time for.
Yeah, man.
Right?
I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yeah.
I really had a good time. Let's do it again soon.
Yeah, we'll do it again soon.
All right, bro. Take care.
All right, peace.